Hello, everyone. So we are in the season of the diversity visa lottery. That means we are waiting for the results. But once the results are out, we'll be focusing again for people who have won to fill the visa form, for those who haven't won to get ready to apply for the new diversity visa lottery. But are there other means one person will be able to get a green card apart from the diversity visa lottery? Are there pathways to get a green card if you don't win the diversity visa lottery? Because maybe this is their first time, you don't win. Second time, third time, fourth time, 10th time, whatever time it is for your case. And your dream is to get permanent residence of the United States and down the road to become maybe a naturalized citizen of the United States. On my case, when I applied for the diversity visa lottery, first time I didn't win. Second time, third time, fourth time. I remember, if not mistaken, I've applied almost about 5 to 6 times before I became permanent resident. And I didn't become permanent resident through lottery. I became permanent resident through marriage. Yes, marriage is one among the ways one person can become a permanent resident of the United States. So, apart from the diversity visa lottery, the other way someone can become a permanent resident is if you are married to a US citizen. But also, if you are married to a permanent resident, you'll also become permanent resident, but the waiting time to become a permanent resident during the process is longer if you are married to a permanent resident versus if you are married to a US citizen. So that is the difference, just the waiting time. But some people have parents who are US citizens. Or for instance, in my case, I'm a US citizen. I can apply for my mother, I can apply for my father, I can apply for my siblings to become permanent resident of the United States. The difference will be if I applied for my parents, it will be a shorter time versus if I apply for my siblings. My siblings can wait 8 to 10 years to become permanent resident versus my parents, within a year, they'll become permanent resident. In American immigration system, majority or the larger percent of people who are getting green card, unfortunately, is on the family based. Over 67% of immigration in the United States is a family-based immigration, meaning either a permanent resident or a US citizen is bringing the family member. Then the economic immigration, the permanent residence based on job, is a smaller percent. People can be sponsored by a company to be given a permanent residence. That is allowed. But also, not all the big companies are able to sponsor you, but also you can sponsor a nanny. You can bring a nanny here in the United States under the special visa. While he's here, you can sponsor a nanny to become a permanent resident too. There is a process for that. But in addition to that, there are other ways. There is EB visa or green card of that nature. So there are people, if you have higher degree, most likely master's degree, and you work into a specified good job, all these kind of things, there is a way you can apply based on your education and work, but you are not sponsored by a company to be given permanent resident. But that way, you need to have a lot of recommendations from your supervisors or your employer, whatever, but they are not sponsoring you. So that is another way to become a permanent resident. There was one way, but that was stopped. There was one way, it's called the MAVNI program. That used to be, if you are already in the United States and you have been here for at least 2 years, on any visa, as long as it's not a diplomatic visa and no crime, you were able to join it was the army. You were able to join the army, and then they give you citizenship right away. You don't even get a green card. They just take you. If you're a student, you become a citizen direct. That program, they needed people in medical, like you're a nurse or any medical related, or certain type of languages, which majority of languages, Swahili was one among at that time. So many people joined through that way. So for that particular case, that program, first of all, was open, then was closed, was open again, was closed around 2015, before 2016 election, that one. And in 2020, when Obama stopped 2015, going to 2016, they say they are looking the way to bring it back, but they didn't bring back. 2020, Trump was planning to bring it back, ordered the Joint Chief and other people, whatever, in the Department of Defense to look at it to bring it back. I believe that one will be brought it back at one point. So, but you must be here in the US first, with already what we call 2 years without any criminal background. So to get permanent resident in the US is a little bit different from Canada. Canada, you can apply express entry on your own and become permanent resident based on your education from your own country. But here in the US, majority of the permanent residents are based on, or immigration in general is based more on the family based than economic. That's why we see there are few routes in the United States to become a permanent resident of the United States. That's why I usually tell people, if you have option to choose between going to the United States or going to Canada, your goal is to become a permanent resident. If you go to Canada, you are likely quicker to get a permanent resident. If you don't get married, you say, I'm looking for other ways to become permanent resident. In Canada, you will get permanent residence quicker compared to the United States, unfortunately. So those are the ways you can get a green card. But if you don't have your father, your mother, whatever kind of that here in the United States, and they are not a citizen, which majority of you are, you need to find what other ways can I go to the United States first. Like, I'm going to a student, I'm going for a conference, I'm going for that something. While you are there, then you look for other pathways. Because if you don't have a family, you cannot get a green card from your own country. You have to come here first for other ways. That's why we usually talk about scholarships here. That's why we are talking about conferences, if there are any conference, internships, volunteering opportunities, or any other way, legal ways to come here. Then from here, you can find a way to change the visa from one visa type to another visa type.